So I've come to a valley in Nettleton in Wiltshire, and I promised myself since last summer, winter, I said to myself, I must get down in the summer and do some filming and superimpose a Roman temple on this area, because that's what we have here. And in the end I didn't do it in the summer, so I've come back in the winter. It requires quite a lot of drawing to try and explain what is here, because there's not much left. There's a few humps like over there and over there, those are Roman buildings, and over there, up there in the trees, is a temple to Apollo-Cunomaglos. Now Apollo, we know what Apollo is from Greek and Roman myth. We know he is. There's plenty of stories about him. We know absolutely nothing about his aspect as Cunomaglos, and Cunomaglos is a British Welsh, ancient Welsh name. Probably means hound lord, as in lord of the hunting dogs. And there are there's a statue of him, we think, over in Gloucestershire and in London. But he's a hidden god, a god that we know nothing, a particularly British god, and there's lots of Roman stroke British gods that we know very little about, but it's all coming out in archaeology. There's an inscription on an altar, and when I was in, it's supposed to be in Bristol Museum, when I was in there doing a spot of work, I spoke to the curator there and said, do you, it's nearly lunchtime, do you have is it possible that down in your basement you have it? And he didn't know what I was talking about, which is very disappointing. I'm worried something so important is disappeared, because the icon of the god Apollo-Cunomaglos up in Winchcombe, that disappeared for a number of years until it was found in an old box somewhere in the attic, and it's on display now. If I can find it, I'll cut it into this. But behind me, on the other side of that, the stream over there, an octagonal temple. Right here is what is described by the archaeologists as a guest house that sort of pushed the river out. But after the end of the Roman period, this all stopped being anything essentially religious and became like an ironworking or a metalworking centre. I've forgotten which. It might have been lead, but there is evidence of violence and so on. But yeah, it's an interesting site. It certainly caught my imagination. This is the Roman road, the Fossway. Well, it might have come down a bit down here, but the Roman road, the Fossway, goes up and crosses here. That isn't a Roman bridge, and then goes up there. That perfectly serves a really important Roman temple. Geographically, it's the place where two valleys meet. So, well, one of the valleys doesn't have a river like this one does, but it shows Roman temples tended to be. The Romans synthesized their religion with the people they conquered. There was assimilation, and with that goes not just you accept our ideas. The Romans accepted British ideas, so they planted their temples. They Romanized British ones in British locations, and I'm sure it was important, this sort of landscape, the significance of this landscape was as important to them. Well, we know it was, as it is to us. We know it was because they built a temple. So even with our modern detachment from nature, whenever we do get in it, we do feel that places like this are important.